So what are the traits that lead to somebody being a successful entrepreneur versus failing? What's up guys, Matt here. In this video, I'm going to break down into 7 bite-sized actionable points, things that I've picked up on that I see leading to people being successful versus not successful. I am in the lucky position where I get to help so many of my students and interact with people through my YouTube channel that I get to see it a lot. And at this point, I've sort of developed a sense as soon as I talk to somebody, is this person going to be successful or not? And just picking up on those things that those people have in common, and also what they lack or what the ones have in common that might not succeed. So in this video, I'm condensing that into this, so hopefully you can learn something from it and be one of those people that is successful and does start a business that you want. And while this is mostly in the context of Amazon and e-commerce, I think that these principles absolutely apply to any business that you might be building for yourself. So you're definitely going to find some very useful traits that you can cultivate in yourself in this video. Anyways, let's just get right into point 1. All right, so point number 1, this is going to sound harsh, but bear with me. This is something that I've definitely noticed that everybody that ends up successful has in common, and the ones that fall victim to this sadly usually don't make it that far. And this is that the successful entrepreneurs don't ask stupid questions. Now, what I mean by that is they don't ask questions that are readily available, that can easily be found in a Google search or watching a simple 30-second or 1-minute video, information that is widely out there and doesn't require them, getting their hand held. You need to be somebody that can take these steps and kind of pave your own way. Obviously getting help, and there's so much information out there that is helpful, that is all very, very important, but ultimately it falls on you at the end of the day, and you need to be somebody that can find your own answers and navigate on your own at times. So if you're reaching out to people for just very basic questions, what is FBA? Google it. You can find acronyms. Don't spend somebody else's time to tell you what an acronym is when you can very simply just Google that and see what it stands for. So you need to be able to seek and know what resources to utilize and when. Now, of course, I love helping people and I want to help as many people as I possibly can, but when I get these really basic questions, it just sets off my alarm now that I know that that person is probably going to fall flat, and it's probably not somebody that can really navigate on their own if they're asking me very basic questions that are already out there, super easily accessible. This doesn't mean to not ask questions and to not seek help, but when you do, make sure that it's thought out and you couldn't find that answer very easily, and it's a thoughtful question that is nuanced and thought through, not just like impulsively just asking to have your hand held through absolutely every step. The people that succeed figure out a lot of the steps on their own. All right, so point number 2 on this list of traits I see in those who succeed is that when they're getting into a business, they have a real plan and a real vision for this business. They're not just dabbling and playing around and just testing the waters and seeing what they're going to do. No, they have this entire vision of what it could be, mapped out, planned. This is what it could look like in a year. And I understand that it's going to take money and risk to get there. So the people that generally have less of a chance to succeed are those that are just kind of like playing around, and maybe I'll sort of try this, and I don't know what's really gonna happen, but I'm just gonna give it a little shot on the side and all of that. The ones who succeed really understand what it could be and what it's gonna take to get there, and they have it all mapped out, and they have a plan and a vision for what it could eventually become, and they understand what steps it's going to take to get there. So you have to understand, when you're starting a new business, this is a new venture. This is huge. This is like big news. This is not something that you just kind of like, oh, I went to the store today. Like, no, you are starting a venture. You are starting a business. Think of it as a big deal, because it is. Make it a big deal. So having money to risk for sure increases your likelihood of success, because you're not going to be just dabbling and playing around on the side, but you're really going in, you're spending money on things, and you're laying this all out as a professional business venture, because it is. And if you think about it that way and you have that mindset ingrained from the beginning, and you have this plan and you have this vision, you are so much more likely to succeed than somebody that's just kind of playing around, throwing a couple $100 into something, seeing what happens on the side. Somebody that has it all laid out and knows exactly what they're gonna do is way more likely to succeed. Oh, and also, for example, this might mean registering your LLC from the very, very, very beginning, just so you have a real corporate business. It's a real existing thing. That is going to help you have the mindset that you're building a real company, which that definitely helps because it just lays it out as if you're going into this in a real way and not just playing around. Now, if you don't have the money to do something like that, that is totally fine. I personally didn't. I know plenty of people that are succeeding that didn't do it, but I think the ones that set it up like that from the beginning are more likely to succeed because it's just putting their money where their mouth is and showing that they're really serious about this thing that they're about to start. All right, number 3 is failing and adapting. Entrepreneurship, starting a brand on Amazon, any of this, it's never going to be just all amazing. You're going to fail. You're going to micro fail. You're going to succeed a little. You're going to get knocked back down. There's going to be problems that come up all the time. And you can't let those problems just discourage you to the point where you give up. You know, like, oh, Amazon did this thing and, you know, I got this notice, I guess I'm done. No, like you have to take those adversities and then you have to execute on actually fixing them. And so when something comes up and it didn't go to plan, you have to be the type of person that's going to fix it. You're going to figure out a way around. You're going to adapt when Amazon changes the algorithm or Facebook changes the way that ads look or something like that. You have to be able to adapt through failures, adapt through changes, and constantly be on the edge and willing to keep learning and adjusting, because nothing is passive in business. It's not, because things change and things come up and something will break. So you have to turn those breaking points and fix them. You can't just get discouraged every time something goes wrong. You need to flip those upside down and fix those points and do something about it. Number 4 is patience to profit. The people that succeed have a long-term vision. This ties into number 2 about having it all mapped out, but you're not expecting to get returns immediately. I think this does tie into that, you know, not really thinking, like just dabbling and stuff like that, but you can't expect any business to return very quickly. This definitely applies in the Amazon space, in the physical product, online, e-commerce space. You need to be able to reinvest. If you're making profits, you're reinvesting into growth because you have a long-term vision for what it could become. And you're not just expecting to be able to profit immediately and then just go hands off and rake in profits with no continued upkeep or work. So understanding that the vision that you created is going to take time. It's not going to be overnight, and you're going to have ups and downs along the way, but you're playing for this long-term vision, and you're going to keep reinvesting. If you're making profits and you're growing, to get to that vision, it's going to take dumping everything back in, or almost everything, so you can really get it to the scale of what the potential for your vision is. So understand that the vision will take time. You have to have some patience. Number 5 is something mindset related that I notice in all of the people that I talk to who end up successful. And mindset is something that a lot of people might think is fluffy or not important, but I think it's the most important, actually. I think it's the whole thing. You have to have this belief, not in a law of attraction sort of way, but in a belief in yourself and a belief of what is possible and a belief that you will actually execute on it. So what these people have in common is that they know they're going to succeed. Like, they know they're gonna succeed. They're not like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. They're going to make it work no matter what. Ties into fixing those problems as they come up and having the vision, but they understand that no matter what, they're gonna make this shit work. Like, they're gonna do it. They're gonna figure it out. They're going to adapt when they need to. They're going to be patient when they need to. They're gonna be aggressive when they need to. They're going to learn new things when they need to. They're going to work harder when they need to. They're going to relax and rejuvenate when they need to so that they have the energy to work. They're just going to do it. They're gonna make it work no matter what. And when I sense this in people, I just know that they're gonna make it work no matter what. Whether they fail at first, whether they succeed right away, they're just going to keep pushing and adapting because they are 100% all in on that. They need to make it work. This was true for me when I was starting on Amazon. This was around the time I was in college, and I was like, you know, a year or two from the end of college. And when it really got serious and when I really went full-time all into Amazon was when I graduated. Because then I was like, all right, shit, this has to work or I'm gonna go have to get a job. And I never ever applied to a single job after graduating, and that was my goal. And it had to work, because if it didn't work, I was going to have to go to a path that I didn't want. So I was dead set on making it work no matter what. And that is something that I see in common with the people that end up being successful, is they're confident, and they're confident because they've researched well and they've learned well and they have a plan and a vision and they know what they're going to execute on. And then that leads to them being confident and just knowing that they're gonna make it work no matter what. So mindset is tricky, and I don't think you can just like fake it and be like, I'm gonna make it work no matter what. You need to get yourself to a position where you are genuinely that confident and that willing and that eager and that motivated and ambitious to really make it happen, and that increases your chances a million. All right, so point number 6 on this list is a very interesting one to me, maybe something you haven't heard before, but something I've noticed to be very true, is that successful entrepreneurs have an eye for details, meaning whether it's photos on Amazon or the copywriting in a listing or the way that you're communicating, or what your price ends in. You know, does it end in 99 or 97 or whatever? All of these little details really add up, especially when you are the master of your own fate, i.e. being an entrepreneur. You have to really pick up on all those details. You can't just slap shit together and expect to succeed. You need to have such a nuanced laser focus on the product you are creating, the brand you are envisioning, you know, the project that you're making, whatever your business or your product is, that laser focus and attention to detail. Choosing the right colors, the fonts, no typos. You know, does your image, do your product photos have little blotchy spots or bad reflections or, you know, miscolored areas and stuff like that? Having an eye for all those details, it really matters. And whether it matters directly on conversion or if it just matters in the fact that that means you're putting more effort in overall, I'm not necessarily sure. But that is definitely a trait that I notice, is that successful entrepreneurs have an eye for detail in everything that they're doing. Now, obviously, be careful, don't be too much of a perfectionist, because I think that's maybe a sub point, is that can hold people back, is if you never actually end up making steps because you're such a perfectionist, that's a problem too. So have the eye and try to execute at a high level, but also, you know, move fast and get it going, of course. All right, last and final, very important point on this list. Point number 7, studies have shown, this has been scientifically proven, that people who hit the like button and subscribe to this channel are 9,000 times more likely to end up being a successful entrepreneur. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, get into the Facebook group, network with entrepreneurs, learn from each other. I guess this is a real point. It's kind of a joke, but it's kind of a real point, is, you know, get in the game. Get in the game. So get surrounded in this space, whatever space you want to get into. Consume content, dive deep, network. All of that stuff is really, really important. So thank you so much for watching. Please do all the things, just click everything, whatever you want to click. Just if you hit the dislike button, just make sure you hit it twice. Learn that one from Graham Stephan. Good quality trick. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Peace. Senna, and another Senna, 2 Sennas.